here for you Team Tactical Facepalm against Team Element Zero. And now Team Element Zero is a new EU-based team. I have not seen them play. I have no idea who they are or what countries they are from, but I do know they have a player called Bagelzend.
Bagelzend may or may not be the greatest name in the history of FireFall. It is up there in close competition with Michael Jordan. I think you can agree with me on that one, Nero.
I definitely agree, although Xenocythe with a 3 at the end is pretty good, and you know he's the best player on the team because he's playing the Electron frame.
I mean, the 3 really does make it. I mean, I have to agree with you there.
And we see a lot of familiar faces on Team Tactical Facepalm. Of course, they've been around quite some time. Captain Fancy Pants is playing the Electron frame for them, but enough about Electrons. What other frames are we seeing now with the 1-frame limit?
Well, the most interesting thing we're going to be seeing over on Tactical Facepalm is that they actually have a Firecat, which is something we didn't see at all during the brawl. I mean, Fuel Air Bomb is not considered incredibly good as far as HKMs go, but just the AoE power and the damage over time that the Firecat can put out, we'll have to see if it ends up being significant.
And it looks like... Go ahead, sorry.
So just over on Element Zero, their interesting one is something we have seen, but it's not hugely common. That's the Accord Engineer. That's Sticky Launcher.
Yeah, and especially given the map layout of Shantytown with a lot of close quarters and a lot of corners, it's very effective using sticky traps. So we are seeing a straight-out brawl as it looks like Tactical Facepalm pushing straight outside of spawn, not as organized as Element Zero. Element Zero had the positioning, had the sight advantage to know exactly where Tactical Facepalm was coming out. No points picked up on the board yet, but Element Zero looking a lot healthier, a lot more in control of the fight right now.
That fan out from Element Zero, you saw they took tower with their Accord Engineer to get that spam presence going on. They had their Electron kind of sitting back and poking, and then when they saw that Tactical Facepalm hadn't really rolled out with any sort of speed, they fanned out so that any direction Tactical Facepalm tried to go to retreat from the tower pressure, they were just getting shot from someone else and walking into the rest of their team.
And we see
awesome.
Absolutely, and we're looking at Xenocythe maintaining control over tower position. He did a lot of damage to people coming near him, and now we're seeing Eldoon Temp playing the Dragonfly for Element Zero, healing up his team with that alt fire, patching all of them up. You see Ruzleth playing that Accord Engineer, as you said, fall back, you know, have your positional set up in the front, deploy your health station down at the back, retreat down straight to your Dragonfly, and you know, with this amount of map control, and Tactical Facepalm not really pushing out as a team. I mean, they're losing players. Fancy Pants.
He pushed solo up to tower, and his team just didn't have his back. So, you know, Element Zero just came up, put 3 people on him, and he died. There wasn't even a contest for it.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Element Zero has practiced a little bit. Their opener, at the very least, you know, they put down that overclocking station from their Electron. They fanned out immediately to the high ground, which was a very good play. You see Bagelzend over there cleaning up Traith from Tactical Facepalm, and a 4-0 lead for them, and I think Tactical Facepalm really needs to regroup, even if it's in spawn.
Yeah, they need to find some way to get out where they're not being camped. I mean, Element Zero isn't actually putting that much pressure on the spawn doors themselves, so I think if Tactical Facepalm just kind of took a second, let their dead players respawn, maybe took the waterfall exits, they can be a little more stealthy hiding under the bridge when they come out, but if they keep getting pinned in these close quarters, that splash from that Accord Engineer, and I mean, just the pressure that's going to come out from that, along with the, the Nova Cannon that can come out from the Tiger Claw that they're running, and the Electron alt fire, they're just going to die if they keep sitting right there in a corner. I
mean, look at that. Bob Smith, playing that Firecat, went outside of spawn for no reason, 1v5. His team didn't follow him because, I don't know, that's a bad place to go, and, you know, that's a free point for Element Zero. It's 8-0 right now. Xenocythe, with that 4 kills, 0 deaths, you know, he is definitely leading the pack as Electron. The next person with the kills actually is Ivy Nomad, I guess, who is playing regular old Biotech.
Maybe he's just that much of a boss. I mean, he knows how to hit with those needles. The triage can be insanely useful. Yeah, he gets another needle kill right there on Captain Fancy Pants.
Wow, he's being very aggressive.
Well, I mean, I think he feels that Tactical Facepalm won't punish him for it. You know, they're at the point in the match where if Tactical Facepalm had the kind of positioning and formations and team response to punish over-aggressive play, they would have seen it by now.
Yeah, and picked up a few more kills. We're seeing 3 more in spawn. I really just want them... I mean, you know, you have to leave spawn, so you got to pick an exit. You can do something cute.
I really think
like,
the waterfall exit is what they need.
I agree. It's something that you have a little bit more room. You have a straight corner. You can fan out in 3 different directions coming out from it. But no, they're going to push high ground with that bulwark shield. Trade pushing out Dragonfly versus Dragonfly fight, but the rest of the team taking a little bit of damage. Bossmith goes down once again above his spawn. Captain Fancyman's being healed up by his Dragonfly. Gonna try and take down that Biotech. Doesn't look like he will. Trying to get away. A few more pokes will finish him off. He jumps straight into the enemy team. 1v3 and a turret. Not sure that was really advisable, and it's really looking like Tactical Facepalm is just not being very tactical.
That was 4v5. Well, maybe it's a meta thing. They're trying to do tactics that would make you facepalm. That was 4v5.
Oh my
Vectos
God.
is AFK and spawn.
All right,
I don't know if he was having some issues when the match was played or what, but he's just not there.
Yo, man, maybe he's just typing something really long. You never know.
I mean, they have to draw up a complex tactical plan that resembles a facepalm as much as is humanly possible.
Yeah, it's not looking super great for them. Let's think about Element Zero though. They are, I think, correctly playing this. They have the Electron on tower. Their team is fanned out. Bagelzend is above them, you know, to run some disruption and make sure they get tagged in Sin. There comes a push from Waterfall, like you said. That's really nice. Unfortunately, Weapon Omega is down inside of spawn. Bob Smith of Firecat trying to deal as much damage as he can, but he's just staying on the ground. His team is down. I mean, he gets picked off with a really nice missile shot from Bagelzend, and they're just not doing anything to dislodge the positioning that Element Zero has on this map.
Really didn't help that that an HKM was fired through their team right there. I believe I saw an electrical storm go through and just put out a ton of damage. That is the disadvantage of the waterfall exit, is if you kind of roll out that way, if you're trying to get sort of, you know, element of surprise, come out together, go through the same corridor and just kind of jump up at people and they don't see you coming. If they catch you, those corridors can be death traps.
Yeah,
it
AOE, looks like they're
especially with the electrical storm.
Pushing with their Electron, pushing with Bulwark, taking the low ground. They know double damage is going to be up in 15 seconds. This is going to force Element Zero to abandon their position, but unfortunately they're not taking rooftops. They're taking the lower ground, and I'm not sure that's such a good idea. If they waited maybe a little bit longer, they could have maybe stealth gotten the double damage, but as it stands, they are down 2 men. Element Zero is down none. The focus fire actually is surprisingly good from Element Zero, and now it's just Trace trying to run away with Triage. I'm not sure how much that's going to do. You know, it's just really him and Vectos. He grabs the double, though. He can make some plays if he's careful with that grenade launcher. Does a ton of damage on direct hit, but unfortunately too many people in the air is no good, and now Ivy Nomad has double, and Ivy's put up some great kill numbers, actually 11-0, leading the team and this game in kills. That's not somebody you want having double damage.
Yeah, I'm absolutely not, especially because he's going to get the extra leech coming back, make him just that much harder to kill. But I think, honestly, the thing that impressed me most is something you touched upon in that last little engagement. The focus fire from Element Zero is incredible. You always knew that they were all on the same page, they were communicating, they picked the most important targets, and they immediately brought them down. And that was something that just didn't feel like Tactical Facepalm had that kind of focus. They could occasionally roll out as a team, they could move as a team, but they didn't fight as a team. And that's a huge difference. Take
a look at obviously the kill and death numbers are pretty important, but take a looking at the assist numbers. 11, 9, 9, 11. That is extremely well spread out. Even to the degree more than a top team. That's really showing every single player on the team is contributing for that damage. We saw Roslith playing the Accord Engineer more as space control, sitting with the turrets, having that one extra supply station in back to let the teammates heal, let the Dragonfly, more importantly, pick up ammo as well for that continuous alt fire, and using the sticky grenades to zone one of the 3 spawn exits. So surprisingly good play from them. I'm really looking forward to see what they can do in the future. We're going to go ahead and move on to Game 2, so stick around. Welcome back to Game 2. This is Tactical Facepalm versus Element Zero. Gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with Element Zero in their first showing. And now we're moving to the match on Rig. Genrai, how are these frames going to change their roles on this map?
Well, the AoE area denial is still significant, but nowhere near as much because Shantytown is so tight that a lot of AoE damage can really pressure and lock down like an entire route. There's so much more open space on Rig that what you're really kind of looking for most of the time is someone like, especially an Electron. And I mean, back in the day, you would see a lot of recons because they control open space so much more effectively because of their long-range snap damage potential. That's something we'll have to keep in mind for the whole match.
And we are seeing, I think, Ruslev, yep, still sticking with the Cord Engineer. Now, Ruslev went 0-0, but had 5 assists last game. Did a lot of area denial, exactly like you said. And I think maybe Bob Smith playing on Firecat might be able to find more success on Rig than on Shantytown.
Yeah, especially because there's a lot of kind of pulling back on Rig, trying to get healed up. On Shantytown, it's very, because the map is smaller, it's easy to kind of chase and pressure, whereas on Rig, you have a little more space to fall back, and the dot from that Firecat can deny a lot of the heal over time potential. But look at this sneak coming in from Element Zero.
I like
all the
this.
way around the map.
They are
TFB looks like they're happy
me.
to take the rails, though.
Yeah, but Element Zero, again, impressing me. They know how to open. They know how to they know which positions to take. And even though I haven't seen them play, they're really impressing me.
Shatoba got just instantly murdered by that flank. You saw him kind of get sinned, wonder what went on, turn around, and then lose half his life immediately. It was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Ruthless, the Accord Engineer, being very aggressive with those sticky launchers. Hasn't set up any deployables that I can see to control the middle of the map. Oh, actually, there is a turret, and just a lot of cleanup kills really coming in from Element Zero. I have no idea what Traith is doing, trying to res his teammate over there next to the Mega Health, or sorry, Big Health, as he gets focused down and killed. Not executed, though. I feel with that many players down, they could have bought some more time for map control, for setup time on the Engineer deployables. Because although there isn't like a cooldown or a double
Turret's
damage,
up now.
Right? There's no cooldown or turret on, or there's a turret. There's no cooldown or double on Rig, but having the extra time to have your abilities reset is very valuable. And now
they actually did just move the turret down. The turret, and I think being used very, very effectively. It's not only covering a couple of possible flank routes, but it's going to shoot anyone who goes for that Mega Health, which can be very, very significant.
Right, and now...
I like also that there's a supply station right on top of the Mega Health. So by controlling the Mega Health with that turret, they are also controlling their own supply station, trying not to get it stolen.
That is, yeah, that's true. You know, enemy team can use your supply station. Now we see Tactical Facepalm pushing out, but we have 3 players now on that high ground ledge that people usually don't go. This is, though, a much better push outside of spawn from Tactical Facepalm. Bob Smith being healed up by his Dragonfly friend over there. And although Traith is low, they've done a good job at least getting outside of spawn first. But, oh, wow, look at that. That shock ball cleaning up Traith. Here comes the triage coming from Shatoba, but no good. Traith does get killed. That overkill going down on him. Now, Captain Fancy Pants being focused down. They've gotten rid of the 2 main threats, the Dragonfly and the Electron. So, I gotta say, another aspect of Element Zero really, really showcasing that they know how to play.
Yeah, their movement, you were talking about them kind of hanging out on that ledge that a lot of people like to hang out on because it's so easily spammed. It was really cool, actually, the way they did it in their timings. They took it just long enough to throw some spam down. As soon as Tactical Facepalm noticed they were there, they just happily jetted themselves back over the rails, and when TFP tried to push up a little, they punished them for going for it, because that is a dangerous place to push through.
All right, but I love the focus. They got the Dragonfly low, then they fell back and played safe. They used some AoE around the corner. They got the kill. Then 2 players on mid pushed and killed the Electron. So they eliminated the 2 main threats straight off the bat, and the rest was easy kills.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you have a 5v3 advantage, if there hasn't been a lot of work done, if you haven't burned a lot of cooldowns for that, you're going to win every time. Weapon Omega picked very quickly by that missile shot.
Looking at kills, Bagelzend finding more success on this map, playing that Tiger Claw. I love playing Tiger Claw on Rig. You think, oh, you know, it doesn't have that much splash damage, but missile shot is so effective. Having that Trailblaze to, you know, really move around your team in all the positions you want. We saw that in Brawl 3 with Epsilon versus Hubris. Just movement, movement. Are we going to flank? Are we going to flank? The team's moving all together as one, 5 players just trying to flank the other team. Pretty hilarious. We had some weird stalemate-y periods of time where people were just lapping themselves for 2 minutes. But you know, 1 Nova shot, 1 missile shot is all it takes to get that team fight.
1 Nova shot is all it takes, but Not if Nero misses it.
Damn, that's cold.
I actually think the thing you mentioned that I think is most significant on the rig is Trailblaze from the Tiger Claw. Because Tiger Claw doesn't... I mean, it can control open space. It doesn't do it as well as an Electron. It doesn't really do it as well as some of the other kind of... some of the other available classes. I think, actually, Accord Biotech controls open space quite well, as long as you have a bit of a closer range. But, the ability to get around this huge map at a very rapid pace and reposition yourselves very quickly, when Rig is all about, okay, well, this position beats this position, but if you come from here, you can take their position, etc., etc. That's pretty much all Rig is position matchups.
Yeah, and this push out from Tactical Facepalm once again is sort of split up, and it seems every single push out that Tactical Facepalm does, Element Zero is already waiting. They have a spotter, they have people who are checking each exit. Even when they went down on the below spawn, there was a dragonfly spamming at that exit as soon as they got out. I'm just really impressed.
They know better than to just stay stable, and I think that's a mistake a couple of teams made during the brawl, and I think the further we got into the brawl... Oh, there we go. First kill coming out for TFP right there.
Yeah. Stomped
out Xenoscythe, was it?
Yep, so they got the Electron, but unfortunately they have 3 down, so that's not an advantage that they can push. 20-1 right now, so you know they got that point on the board. Moral victory for them, and looks like they are throwing caution to the wind. They're going to see if they can confirm one more kill. IB Nomad does go down. Captain Fancy Pants going to confirm that kill, I hope. Yep, going to lay some balls into him, and that is going to be another point for them. So you know what, good job for them, but Element Zero, I am very looking forward to some of their matches later on in this league.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious they've been practicing. It's kind of funny that neither of us really knows very much about them. I believe they played in Thunderdome when I was casting. I can't quite remember, but they did not look to have this level of coordination that they're working with right now. I'm very, very impressed.
Yep. You know, part of that is the nature of them being an EU team. It's, you know, from the PvP games that do pop, which, you know, I don't think as many happen on EU server, and I have to be invited there and all that, you know, wonderful cross-server action going on. You know, it's tough, but I know most of the NA players, Weapon Omega firing off a shockwave at that turret just to clean it up. Explosive weapons do less damage to turrets, which is why that took so many shots to clean up. So 23-2 as we see Tactical Facepalm getting cleaned up outside of spawn. Element Zero will take this victory on game 2 on the rig, so that'll be 2-0 in their favor. So that is going to be a good pickup for them. You know, 2 games and a team that has been around in FireFall for, you know, quite a bit of time. No issue for Element Zero.
Yeah, I just think once again you drew attention to it in game 1. I want to draw attention to it in game 2. Element Zero's assists, 9, 10, 10, 9, 10.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my god, that focus fire. Yeah, that teamwork, that everything.
That's actually crazy.
I mean, it just really, it shows with how quickly people go down. And, you know, you think about the assists. If people are getting that many assists on top of all the kills they have, like Bagelzend, 10-0-10, involved in 20 of his team's kills. That's fantastic.
Especially
these guys might be going places.
Because Tiger Claw damage isn't 20. It's not 20
very
here.
Precise.
It's not 20 there. Oh, I didn't touch you with my alt fire. No, those are 500 damage chunks coming out of Bagelzend.
Well, yeah, and just the fact that, you know, he's being very, very precise and focused about it, and everyone is. I mean, the same with Electron. You're being precise and focused about your shots. It's not like you're just firing off a bunch of splash and happening to tag everyone.
Well,
you're firing each individual shot. Okay, well,
if you're not using the
alt fire, fine. Yeah, I'm talking about the primary right here.
Sure.
Don't make me go back to that Nova shot.
It's okay. I missed some other stuff for that match, but I got the tether field. We didn't see a tether field for this match that I saw, and I'm sure Bagelzend built one up, but maybe some non-opportune times to use it. So, but tether field is, man, that is a good ability.
Probably still the best HKM in the game.
Pretty good, besides Tremors.
I don't know, man. Tremors, I think the positional requirement of Tremors combined with how Tetherfield, first of all, how long Tetherfield lasts, and second of all, how much it forces the opposing team to change where they want to be, makes Tetherfield more impactful. even if Tremors does more damage.
We did see a wipe with Tremors coming, Planet Express versus Ego, so very strong. Hopefully we'll see more HKM use in the future. It's still something that teams are getting used to and understanding when and where to use it, especially calling that out for your team and understanding how strong it is in certain situations. So that's something we're going to see happen and progress over time. So we will be back with some more games, so stay tight.
Alright guys, that is actually it for tonight. I am going to actually be jumping on the Sinners TeamSpeak, and on here I want your feedback for what's going on. So, good night everybody. Stay tuned next week, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I think that's 5 p.m. Pacific for the Week 2 cast for Mustang League. Good night everybody.